Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Kimbo here, and it's time for an epic discussion video. So, yeah, you know what? First things first, I'll turn this up a little bit. Thought it was like a little, a little too bright, but there you go. That should be good right there. So you can see like the flicker between the lights and such, you know. But it is a discussion video on Bakugan Armored Alliance. So the latest episodes, man. So that being episodes like 35 through like 39. So yeah, it's been like a small wave for this one, but after this, obviously, it's gonna be like maybe the last wave. It's coming up on the end of the year. They got to get all the episodes out and such. But yeah, man, so much happening with it. So if you haven't seen my previous discussion videos on Armored Alliance, the show, you want to go check them out because I'm not gonna explain like fully everything that's happened with this season with this because it'll just go on really long. But yeah, you can go and check out those other discussion videos. And let's get into it, man. So the most recent episodes being 35 through 39, so much plot development with it, and I absolutely love what they're doing with it. So let's get into it. It begins with the Awesome Brawlers basically just going into the maze because they got to go into the maze, and they happen to see that Havoc's minions, that being they have a bunch of different names, like the names of all the minions. I gotta remember Everett, Sophie, Storm, and it's always the other guy. Niku, that's his name. Okay. Yeah, they're all in the maze. And they're having kind of a funny dialogue, actually, for being evil characters. And then the Brawlers show up, and then they get into this big old brawl. And then they all get sucked into this realm, like a part of the maze. There's like this golden flooring that basically goes out under them. And they all fall into it, and they get separated. So I haven't seen like 36, actually, fully, because, been hard to find it. But basically, they all get split up, and then there's different things with it because it being the maze. Like the last time they went in the maze when they faced off against Tico, that being the Awesome Brawlers, they had the whole scene where they got younger because the area they were in made them younger. They had the vice versa with Winton, so he was getting older, him and Lightning both. And then just battles, there was Dan and Shun that were together, and then I guess it was basically given that like Leah was on her own, or it might have been Leah and a G. But yeah, they got to a part of the maze as well. I didn't see that episode, sadly, but obviously I'll get on that in the future, but it's all assumed with it. In all their different battles, they meet up with different Arliss Bakugan. So in the case of Lightning and Winton, they had the assistance of Zealous and then Etris as well, which happened to be like Zealous is Nobilius, Arliss Nobilius, basically the code name, and then Etris being a Arliss Serpentes, so that's how we get Halcorax Serpentes, and then also Trox Nobilius. Those fusions that we see in real life, with the Arliss Bakugan. So they're focusing on the Arliss fusions with this arc going forward big time and taking on Havoc. And then we get like the other fusions, so being Hydrus, Hydrus Trino. It's mainly Pegatrix Goreen, because Goreen, it's assumed like Goreen helped out Leah in their battle and such and showed up. And then we got Pegatrix Goreen with that, which was a good way of bringing it in. And then also like this episode with Dan and Shun both being in that area, like together. It's an area where you jump up and then like gravity is like, gravity, it's like space gravity in the center, but then regular gravity. So if they jump high enough and they can land on the roof and such, kind of that. And then we get into a big old brawl. And then that's how we get Hydrus and Trino. But Trino shows up. They're actually looking for Golden Bakugan. And they saw Trino briefly. But we get the introduction of Trino, the reintroduction of Trino with this. Really wanted to see Trino come back in because it was a given with them making Hydrus X Trino that we'd be getting Trino back in the show. And sure enough, this is how they bring the segue into it. So the way that Trino gets brought back is that when Vestroya and the human world connected together after they beat Tico, that actually allowed Trino to heal up and come back. There's another Bakugan that went down with that, and that being Tico. So hopefully that means we get Tico back. Like, if not this season, hopefully next season or sometime in the future. Please, Spin Master, come on. It would make no sense. It would make me really sad. And I still want to see a Tico figure, whether it's a fusion or it's just Tico by himself. Because we got to see that, man. Like, we got to see. You got the perfect opportunity. Like, come on, man. You got to bring Tico into the show. Like, it would make me really sad. Because we're getting to build up with the whole Great Council, because Goreen's in it, and then now with this Trino being back, and then we get Hydrus X Trino with that fusion, getting that, man. So that leaves out two members of the Great Council, that being Pyravian and that being Tico. Come on, Tico's the one that's up in the air. I mean, Pyravian, yeah, we've seen the figure, but I'll get into that more. But after this is where things get kind of crazy. Well, they have a small little dialogue, so it's like Goreen and Trino both talking to a Jeet and saying like, "Thank you for finding Auxiliator and waking him up." Auxiliator and Pharaoh both uh, and talked to him directly. So Ajit was actually in the maze. He actually went into the maze like in the last season, and he actually took on Tico at a point, like corrupted Tico before he had all the crazy power, which was really wild, dude. That's really, really sick. And I guess it's just over time he just got stronger, and then we got him introduced with this season. I absolutely love that we got that backstory with that because it gives more depth to Ajit, just how strong like he is and how long he's been around. We know how strong he is, but really, really glad of seeing that. Now comes the crazy part after all the mayhem with the maze, and Havoc's fun getting kind of thwarted. That being an episode where Dan's having some night terrors. Again, not so much like sleepwalking like he was before. He's having actual night terrors every night. And then in one of them, Havoc actually sinks into Dan's dreams. He has the power, like I said, like in Daily Invaders, Kazarina, when she was brainwashing people, he has not a crazier level. He can even sink into people's dreams and such, and it shows just how far his power can go at this point. And he basically reveals his full intentions to Dan with this. So they have a battle in Dan's dream. Havoc says if you lose, you don't escape this. So that means you go under my control. And sure enough, they're battling, and Dan actually loses this battle. That's the big time death because it's not the whole happily ever after, oh, the hero wins thing. It's the hero gets defeated and goes under Havoc's control, which is really wild. And with this episode, he explains who he truly is. Havoc explains how he goes from planet to planet and basically puts on an entertaining show, and it leads to, him destroying the planet because of all the mayhem and chaos and everything. And then he points at Earth. And he's like, I'm just having too much fun with Earth, but that's my next target. So obviously there's plans to destroy the world. And Dan now knows this, but he's got to beat Havoc, and he ends up losing it. Meanwhile, nobody knows because it's just Dan dreaming. They don't know until he wakes up, because when Dan wakes up, he starts just trying to go on an absolute tear. He rolls out Drago, uses a core to put Drago under his control, and then he starts battling, I think it was Ajit, and then, sure enough, the Awesome Brawlers see it because he's trying to destroy, like, kind of their clubhouse, the place where they hang, and they see that Dan's not himself. They're like, Dan's trying to destroy this. He's just not himself. And when they try to save him, he flies off. Even though, like, his Bakugan did go down. And he kept rolling them out. Like, Syndius, Drago, Gillator, all of them were under his control. Like, he was under Havoc's control, and then he used Bakugors, and that made it where they were under his control, just being his Bakugan. And at the very end of it, even though they lost, Drago picks up Dan, and they fly off. Which is a big segue, man. It's wild because you have the hero, the main protagonist. Like, yes, the Awesome Brawlers are the protagonists, but, like, obviously mainly being the focus on Dan. Being a full-fledged evil now under Havoc's control. Absolutely love that, man. They went with this ultimate, we're going to make the good guy the bad guy scenario. And then, sure enough, Dan goes off. He's upset because he lost. He's like, these Bakugan are weak. And then Havoc gives him the combined Fang Zor Mantinoid. And then he attacks AA Animus. So he doesn't decide to go face the Brawlers. He decides to go and attack AA Animus because of Benton Dusk and always getting in the way of things. Meanwhile, Nikyu, Sophie, Storm, and Everett all joining Dan. Well, first, Storm wasn't really about it because he's like, I don't feel like helping Dan Kuzo. Because he still has a vendetta against him. But, they all have their big vendetta against Benton. And then when the Awesome Brawler showed up, that being a G being with them now, absolutely love it, man. He's got to become a permanent part of the Awesome Brawlers. Especially after this season, like, for sure. But when Ajit shows up, Storm's like, all right, I'll join in on the fight. I didn't really want to help Dan Kuzo. So meanwhile, like Benton's kind of picking up on it. He's like, Dan's not himself. And then the Brawlers show up and tell Benton that like we faced Dan. He's under Havoc's control. We gotta save him. And then they're all in it trying to help out. Even anybody in AA Animus trying to help out as well with this. And it's kind of crazy that we're not seeing Philomena. Like we saw Benton, but we haven't seen Philomena. I'm not sure why she didn't really join in. You know, it was weird not seeing her. Maybe they're just waiting for her, but who knows? Anyways, Dan causing some big time chaos along with the others that are under Havoc's control, and Ajit. You know, Ajit's battling Storm. They're all battling the different members. In the middle of this, man, Magnus shows up, and this is the best poetic justice, man. I was so happy with this because of how things went with the first season. So the first season, obviously, Magnus trying to get more power, going under Tico's control, Dan being the one to save him and free him from that control. Absolute poetic justice and absolutely amazing storytelling. Big props, Spin Master. This was awesome. I love seeing this. We get to see Magnus come in, and he shows off his fusion Bakugan. The one and only Nilius X Enoch. So the only fusion Bakugan we've seen that's only one faction. And he's like, darkness lingers and gets stronger and just becomes a deeper darkness. And combine them together. And then sure enough takes out Fangzor, Mantanoid, while also doing the dialogue with Dan. We get like a tug on the heartstrings because they're taking us back to season 1 with all these memories with like Dan facing Magnus and then Magnus actually turning good, all of those memories, and then now it being vice versa. So Magnus is still like, he's an anti-hero because like he's not fully with the like the awesome brawlers or anything, but still like he's not evil, you know. Like he's more on the side of good. So acting like a, you know, vigilante hero and being the one to save Dan this time. Absolutely amazing storytelling. I love how that all came full circle with this, man. It was so great. But then Nilius X Enoch taking out Fangzor, Mantanoid, and Dan getting saved. But then Havoc shows up and looks deep in Dan's eyes, and he's like, you're my servant, remember? And then Dan going back under the influence, but then Drago getting rolled out. All the Bakugan talking to Drago, freeing Drago from his control. So Drago's good. But then Dan's still under the control. Drago talking to Dan in the scene, hearing everybody's voices and such. And Drago's like, remember what you told me. No matter what, we've got each other. They acknowledge that Havoc's an absolute beast. Like, power-wise, he's completely strong. He's crazy strong on another level. But they're still partners and they're still together, you know. And after that, Dan snaps out of it. He cracks through Havoc's control. He's the first one to break it. He breaks Havoc's control, which shows how strong Dan is, even mentally, and having that encouragement and such. And Havoc's like, what? Like, completely shocked. And then sure enough, Dan comes back, and then we get another fusion with an Arliss Bakugan, man. That being Drago with Auxilitor. So, you know, the awesome one that comes with Dragonoid Infinity. Yeah, we get that. We get that in the show, and it's an absolute beast. It's a monster. Like literally, all the other fusion Bakugan, it wipes them all out, all of them out. Storm's even like, what incredible power! Like he's shook at it, you know, because even like them being fusion Bakugan, his fusion Bakugan's up there. Because Auxilitor and Drago are both absolute beasts. You combine that power together, you better watch out. You better run, dude. So, yeah. But also when Magnus showed up, Havoc was like, Magnus, he's one of the ones that ruined my plan in Tokyo. And he got really upset. And that right there is a perfect segue. So after this, Dan wasn't held accountable for anything because everybody knew he was under Havoc's control and he wasn't the normal Dan. You know, and obviously he felt really, really bad about it and stuff. And then, yeah, now we got Dan back and Havoc just being obviously really upset about it and going off, and they all just vanished. And that's where we leave off with this. So this sets up for the remainder of the season, man. Absolutely perfect setup. So definite thoughts with this. We've seen it. We've seen the figure for it. Sabra X Pyravian. So Sabra getting introduced. Sabra looks a lot like Nilius. Hands down, Havoc's going to take this experience. He's going to take even the data that he saw from Nilius, that he saw from Magnus and such, and combine that with everything he's seen But also, like, at the very end of it, Dan explains who Havoc truly is. He's an alien trying to destroy Earth. They're all like, what? But it doesn't matter if he's an alien. We've got this. That's how it fully ends, you know. So they all know he's an alien from outer space trying to, be the ultimate entertainer and cause as much chaos and mayhem as possible, which they've known about that about him. But now they know that he's completely going to destroy Earth. So, yeah, man. But hands down, it leads to the build-up. So now, Havoc taking all that data, everything he's learned thus far, everything, and he's gonna fully put it into making Sabra. Basically, like kind of a clone of Nilius in order to get big payback. A bigger, stronger clone of Nilius. You know what I mean? That's basically what Sabra is, because you see the two heads on it. And he's gonna introduce it, for sure. And then he's going to be focusing on the ultimate plan. That ultimate Bakugan being Sabra, and then going after a golden Bakugan. They haven't stopped that mission or anything. It's just that they've managed to get the help of all of the other golden Bakugan. Except for two out there. That being Tico, and that being Pyravian. Which sets up the perfect segue, man. So these future episodes, they got the help of every other Arliss Bakugan that we've seen thus far. Except for Pyravian and Tico. So hands down, they're going to go back into the maze. Like, Havoc's going to be looking. He's going to be using all the data that he's learned thus far, everything that he's seen thus far, in order to create Sabra. So they'll have all their Bakugan, but then they're going to be like, you've seen nothing yet. And they're going to think he's going to have Fangs or Mantinoid. Nah, he rolls out Sabra. And then we get the introduction of Sabra. And then, if not that, then he's making Sabra, but they're also still looking for a golden Bakugan at the same time. So they stay away from the awesome Brawlers, but then they go back into the maze. But then probably something will happen where the Brawlers find out, they fight again in the maze or something like that. Who knows? Time's going to tell with it. But then, hands down, Pyravian getting included with the show, getting to this point where Pyravian's included. And then you got Sabra, Havoc's ultimate plan getting fetched and set up. That being the infamous, absolutely powerful Sabra X Pyravian. Havoc's going to use his power in order to turn Pyravian to their side. Sabra X Pyravian. With that, Havoc's Bakugan will have access to all 6 factions' power. Because, hands down, Sabra is going to have it where it might be a base. Base Bakugan. Maybe it is like Darkest, like how Nilius is, and that's the base form for Sabra Pyravian, Sabra X Pyravian, and the main head is like Darkest, because, Havoc's design, even having all the purple clothing and stuff on, the cape and stuff. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Darkest, like Darkest Sabra X Pyravian, Darkest Arliss, that combination, which, that's a sick combination. How, of course, Serpentines, I see you. But, those two combining together, and then him having access to all 6 factions, because it's not just like Darkest. He has the abilities of like Aqua's, Pyrus, Darkest, Chaos, Ventus, and Arliss, all with it. So power of all the factions, and he uses that ultimate power. Because like the ultimate move that they use, all of his minions use when they attack. They've done it a couple times. He gets that power to do it by himself. He's got serious power, and he's a genius like that, and he'll figure out a way to do it. Then that being the build-up to the ultimate final battle, which would be crazy, dude. Sabra X Pyravian being this strong to the point where maybe even Drago Auxiliator won't be able to stop it. All these Fusion Bakugan are going to put up good fights, but they might go down one by one, and then once again, it'll be down to Drago and Dan. And Ajit as well, because Drago Auxiliator having that combo, and it also pays homage because Drago Infinity coming with Drago Auxiliator. It's the only way to get it, at least right now. I hope they do make it in different factions, but who knows. Then being Drago or Dan and Ajit being the last 2 left, it shows how strong Ajit is because he's one of the last 2, but also like Dan. And then we get an ultimate build-up. Everybody joins their power together. And then we get Baku Thanos. Anybody? Anyways, Dragonoid Infinity Gauntlet, but Baku Thanos, Baku Drago Thanos, whatever you want to call it. Dragonoid Infinity. We get that build-up, and then It's like Cyber Pyravian, imagine his power just continuing to grow and grow and grow more over time, but then Drago Infinity coming out, being the one to fully take out Sabra Pyravian, and then that's the end of it. That's the end of the season. That's the end of the ultimate build-up. They capture Havoc, and it's over. I can imagine that being how this season ends, and then we get a segue into the third season, man. But overall, my thoughts on the season thus far, I absolutely love the storytelling. It's been amazing, and the way they've even done it, even with like the 11-minute, it shows you can use 11-minute episodes and still tell a crazy story, and a lot happened with it. They've done so with both seasons, man. They found out the perfect way of doing so. So it's got me really, really hyped for the third season. I can't wait to see how the rest of this is going to resolve. Main thing, obviously, just being, I know everybody says that, like the cards and everything, but like figure-wise, they're doing a very amazing job. Absolutely fantastic work again, Spin Master with the figures. Obviously, getting the cards out there being a big thing. Yeah, even getting into some discussion stuff because I get watch my channel and totally honored. I don't know if they're always here, but sometimes they peep in and might watch. But just the big thing being the cards. Even do like the way that Pokemon does, and then have it where you include different cards from different ways, like different packs. Like put Battle Brawlers pack in, a Resurgence pack, Age of Arliss, the Armored Elite, Fusion Force, all one of each of them, and then include like Shields of Astroya with it as well. Get some of the older packs in, that way people can get their hands on them, getting the distribution right with it and everything. You're all set. You get the card distribution thing fixed. Helps the game out big time, that like being the big time major thing. The figures are amazing. Now I'll just focus on those cards and everything. But obviously with everything happening this year, it's been really hard and it throws a wrench and everything because just look at this year. Just look at it, So can't fully put the blame on them for that because this year's been absolutely bonkers. And a lot's happened. I mean, it's given. A lot's happened. I'm just going to leave it at that, But still, gotta love Spin Master because the way the show's going is absolutely amazing, man. I'm totally in love with it. Yeah, want to see more cards, obviously, but the way that the figures are going, the way that the show's going, really, really fantastic. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, guys, so you can give your thoughts or such in the comments below. No matter what, I'm excited for the remainder of this season. And also, another thing I'll say is I really pray if they are watching this, I pray they don't do this again. Don't leave out, if it's like short on time or anything, don't leave out the last wave or waves. Don't do that. It made me really sad because I wanted to see some of the other Bakugan, like Diamond Kellyon and Pyrus Webum and such from that wave that we didn't get. Definitely don't repeat history with that. If anything, just put it all out in one fell swoop, or even release the beginning next year, like along with some of the stuff from the first wave of season 3, be the perfect way of doing that, but just definitely don't omit it because it doesn't make the game as diverse. And honestly, Pyrus Webum would have been so fun to use, man, because it's Fury Effect and everything. I do hope that like they do have the random packs and they do include those Bakugan. Even if they did something like the Baku packs. Anybody doesn't know what Baku packs are. They come with one random Bakugan, a gate card and such with it. They could put in like a Bakugan, the chorus for said Bakugan, a certain gate card, and maybe a certain ability card, or just keep it random, with that. Or a certain like card they can use for their deck. Maybe it's like a promo card or something, a special promo card you can get with the Baku pack. That'll be amazing. And include some of the Bakugan from the old waves that weren't put in, like Diamond Kellyon, having a chance of getting a diamond with Diamond Kellyon, or Pyrus Webum or such, or all these Bakugan that were left out of that last wave. Because, yeah, I'd still love to see them and use them, just how I am as a brawler and collector and everything. Those are my big time thoughts. So definitely don't leave out those last waves, or that last wave or anything. And if you could, bring back the other wave, Like I said, the random boxes, the secret boxes and such that they already had planned going out for LGS and everything, or even bring back Baku packs, perfect way of doing it. So yeah, it's the main thing, like cards and just, don't omit any Bakugan. Yeah. But anyways, guys, that is it for my thoughts and such on the most recent episodes, discussion video. Obviously, I'll do another one once more episodes come out. You guys can let me know in the comments what you guys think. And yeah, no matter what, I've really enjoyed it. But hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. So yeah, guys, until next time, it's your boy Kimbo signing off. See you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Till then, stay awesome and Bakugan Brawl. I'm up out of here.